First of all, Matt, congratulations to you and Kelsey on expecting your son later this year. We're all thrilled about that and excited for you and hope that everything goes perfectly. I thought this was a great idea to have this virtual shower to give you some fatherly advice. Even though I'm not a dad, I do have a dad. He's still alive, thank goodness, and he's been fantastic. So I'm going to try and pass on some of the wisdom he passed on to me and things that I've learned from myself. So first of all, Eric gave us a list of things to impart to you wisdom-wise. You may want to take notes because these are really important. But first of all, dad jokes. My dad has got a fantastic sense of humor, and he loves puns. He loves goofy stuff. He was a huge Rocky and Bullwinkle fan when they were on, Monty Python, things like that. But two jokes that always stick with me and that I kind of learned them at a very formative point in my life were Iowa jokes, because when you live in Minnesota, which I do, you tend to have these border rivals with the neighboring states. And so Minnesotans have Iowa jokes and Iowans have Minnesota jokes. And my two favorite Minnesota jokes about Iowans are, first of all, why does the wind in Minnesota always blow from the north? And it's because Iowa sucks. Second one, why do all the Iowa football fields have artificial turf? And that's to keep the cheerleaders from grazing at halftime. So those are my two jokes. But my dad loves to laugh, and we always have a good time when I call him on the phone or when we get together. We're always laughing about something. So sense of humor is huge when you're a parent, because there's going to be times when all you can do is laugh, I'm guessing. The second thing Eric asked us to talk about was something I wish my dad had told me. And because I'm the farthest thing from a ladies' man that you'd ever want to know, my big thing was I wish he had told me that girls are just as nervous and intimidated around boys as boys are intimidated and nervous around girls. If I had known that going into junior high school, I probably would have had more than 4 dates in my entire junior high school, senior high school career. I did have a kind of a steady girlfriend for a little while, but I was not a ladies' man. And after a while, I realized, boy, girls are actually a lot more fun to hang out with and talk to than most boys are, that I know most guys are, and it's still kind of that way. Third thing he asked us to mention to you, it's important for a dad to do this. First of all, is please learn to say no to your son and any other kids you have. Kids need to know the boundaries. They need to know that they can't have everything, even if they cry and whine and throw tantrums. Just be tough. Say no when you have to. Say it gently and firmly, and hopefully they'll get the message. And then the second thing is show your kids, show your son that you love him. And I put show in capital letters because it's one thing to just say that mindless, I love you, I love you, I love you, every time you hang up on the phone or every time you walk out the door. My dad, I can't remember how many times he said it, but it wasn't more than a handful in my lifetime. But he showed me he loved me all the time by being there. He was my coach in sports. He got me outside shooting baskets on the hoop tacked up to the garage. We went on bike rides together. We played catch in the yard. He coached a bunch of my teams. He coached a bunch of my brother's teams. We went on family vacations together, and he took us out hiking and fishing. He introduced me to the Boundary Waters canoe area, which is why I'm not here right now, because while you're watching this, I'm probably sitting up in the middle of nowhere getting rained on seriously badly and wondering if lightning is going to strike my tent. So, but I still love going up to the Boundary Waters, and that was all because my dad showed up. He showed me that he loved me by doing things that he thought I would appreciate to do. So it's spending time, whatever it is, sitting around watching goofy cartoon shows, or having tickle fights, or just sitting around watching TV, watching movies together, anything like that. Show your kids that you love them. Way more important than just telling them. You know, of course, tell them, but mean it when you tell them, but show them, because they watch everything you do. Dads are special because, and for most kids, for most guys, I would guess, they're the first people who introduce you to swearing and how to swear properly and in the right context. My introduction was when I helped my dad build his wood strip canoe back in the mid-1960s, and it did not go well. It was a fight to the finish, and we barely got it finished in time to go up to Sawbill in the Boundary Waters and christen that darn canoe. But when he would break a strip of wood, or the glue wouldn't hold, or the staple gun got messed up, or the fiberglass didn't go on right, he would let some expletives fly. And I was about 10 years old at the time, and I paid attention and I learned what those words are for and when it's appropriate to use them. Dad is the are special because they're the one person who can show their child what it's like to be a man, a real man, not a he-man, but a man in the best sense of the word, kind, polite, caring, considerate, thoughtful, loving, all the best things. You're going to teach your kids how to become themselves by your actions. You and Kelsey will also, but you for a son will especially, because the sons tend to idolize the fathers, the daughters tend to idolize the moms. And one of the proofs of that is that as Sandra and I get older, more and more we realize we are becoming our parents. She is turning into her mother, and I am turning into my father. So that's one thing that's super, super important, is to walk the walk. Don't just talk the talk, but walk the walk. Be the best man you can be, and your son will undoubtedly be the best man he can be. And lastly, I hope I inherited from my dad the love of the outdoors, which I think I have, because I'm still going on canoe trips at this late stage of my life. Sense of humor, like I said, I try and look at the funny side of everything, because in 1,000 years we'll all be dead, and in a million years the planet will be blown up, so what will really matter? But if you can enjoy life every chance you get, that's the best way to do it. And also, I hope I inherited half of his intellect, because he's a brilliant guy, and any part of his inquisitive mind. I try and be what I call a lifelong learner, and because he's still learning, even as an 85-year-old man. So I'll sign off with that, and good luck. Great to see you all. I hope you're having a wonderful time. Thanks, and good night.